Hey, welcome back to class with Prof. Eve. In this video, I will talk about my opinion on whether college is still valuable. So, as most of you know, I imagine, maybe some of you don't, I am a college professor and I have been teaching for almost 20 years now. So obviously, I see some sort of value and utility uh, in the college experience and the college realm. Of course, it's a different experience as a faculty member than a student, but I don't know if I would have maintained this job for so long if I didn't see value in it. But I do want to talk a little bit more about that. So we're in 2026 now. College is expensive, and it's been expensive for a while. 2-year colleges are averaging $9,000 or $10,000 a year. 4-year universities are averaging 40,000 plus dollars every single year for tuition. And this is for students that are in the state or in the local area. So that cost is even higher for international students or students coming into that college from a different state. So they could be paying $10,000, $20,000 more than the amounts that I just gave you. So it's very expensive, and there are a lot of options today. We have the internet, right? We have the school of YouTube, where you can learn quite a bit of really useful things from people that, if they don't have a degree, they have experience. And I think that experience is legitimate knowledge. And I think that's enough to enable people to share information and to teach as well. So you have YouTube, you have, the master classes, you have, the general internet where you can find information about anything that you're curious about, anything. You could study a different thing every week, every month. You could have a different major, right? If you're going through the school of the internet. But one thing that the internet doesn't ensure is the credibility of the people that are presenting this information to you, the people that you're learning this information from. Yes, experiential knowledge is very valuable, in my opinion. I also think that learned knowledge is valuable. And I think in a formal setting like a college, having folks available to you that have gone through the same thing that you've gone through, that have gone through taking classes, registering for classes, struggling through classes, successfully passing classes and getting degrees, that's unmatched to have that kind of access to those people, right, that are teaching you, that are staff members in a college, even that are administrators in a college. So I do think that when it comes to those sorts of things, that sort of formal credential, you can be assured that you're going to get that out of college, right? You're not going to really need to question whether your professor has a degree or at least some sort of learned background in that subject matter because it's required that they would have had to get that job. So I do think that makes the college environment a little bit different. And that brings me to the college environment in itself. For me, it was very useful and transformative for me to move away and go to university, to live in the dorms, to figure out how to manage a budget, connect with other students, connect with people from other countries and other parts of the United States as well. There's something really special about the campus environment, the college environment, the networks that can be formed, the community, that's formed, the free resources that exist on college campuses. I do intend on making a separate video about all the free stuff you get in college because there's quite a few things, right? And if you're in college for several years, you can take advantage of free counseling for years, in some instances, free healthcare at universities, or at least reduced or more affordable healthcare options. Food, could be a lot cheaper when you're living on a college campus. All of these types of resources, aside from the intellectual resources that you also have available to you, cannot be paralleled with an internet education. So, do I think that college is still valuable in our modern day? I would say think very deeply about your decision to go to college. Think about whether you can afford to pay the tuition. Think about whether you can afford to pay back the loans that you may need to pay back if you do take out loans because you can't afford the tuition. Think about those things initially, not that they should be barriers to you entering, college, but it's something to reflect on. And I don't think that many students do until you're already in it, right? Or after you're finished. And then it's like, oh, those loans, got to pay back those loans. Or the students that are working so hard while going to school and making payments toward their tuition. These are definitely things that you want to think about. Of course, your career area matters a lot as well. There are numerous jobs in the world today that do not require a 4-year degree and certainly not an advanced degree like a master's or PhD. And some of these jobs are, prestigious, socially prestigious and pay well. I'm thinking of oil miners or oil drillers. I'm not sure what the name is exactly. Um, but I know there's many in Wyoming. My former brother-in-law worked in that area. And so they make decent salaries every year. Of course, there's physical risks and things like that that you have to consider for that type of work. But there's also nuclear scientists, there's air traffic controllers, all these positions that don't require 4-year degrees. Some careers may surprise you, the ones that don't require a 4-year degree at all, but you can still make $60,000 plus a year almost upon entry in some cases. So the career area that you aspire to go into is really important. If you want to teach English, then obviously you're probably going to need to get some sort of degree from a college or have some formal education one way or another. Any teaching aspirations, I would say, generally are going to require, at least as it stands now, are going to require some sort of formal education. So there are particular areas that would require that you complete some form of college. And that doesn't mean that you complete an entire degree. Maybe you just get a certificate, you get a certification, you learn skills of a trade. There's lots of students at the 2-year college level that do that, that do 1-year certification programs, that come in and do trade programs and are on their way going into their careers. And students at 2-year colleges do tend to enter the workforce much sooner than students who go to 4-year, universities, and certainly those that go beyond for more advanced degrees. So the return value on a college education tends to be greater for students that go to college for fewer years because you're able to start working more quickly, gaining experience more quickly. So yes, there is still value to a college education of some sort, in my opinion. For now, we'll reassess this in 10, 20 years. But I do think when it comes to the social legitimacy and meritocracy that's required for gainful employment in the United States, it's useful. It's useful as it stands. So that's my spill on whether I think that college education is still valuable. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Peace.